I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Wednesday, May 8th, 2019.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report.
Most of you are wondering why we didn't have a top of the order this morning, which is our top story to lead off the podcast every morning. Well, there was one story that led off the script until another story happened, and thankfully the wonderful team here at the Sport Report did a fantastic job readjusting the script before we recorded it. Thanks to our writers here at the Sport Report, we decided to replace top of the order with the double play for this morning. To lead off the double play, we start in the soccer world. Liverpool trailed 3-0 to Barcelona, heading into the second leg at Anfield on Merseyside in the northwest of England, and they scored 4 in regulation without their top 2 scorers, reminiscent of Manchester United missing their top 10 players against PSG when they overturned a 2-goal deficit in Paris just a few months ago. Liverpool will head to their second consecutive Champions League final, where they lost last year to Real Madrid. The final this year is in Madrid, but they won't have to play Real Madrid as Real Madrid were knocked out by Ajax. Well, if you're still following this, Ajax are in the semifinals against Tottenham Hotspur. They play later today, 3 p.m. Eastern on TNT. That was top of the order for about 10 hours due to the historical significance of Liverpool overturning a 3-goal deficit. It's the 4th time in history that a team has overturned a 3-goal deficit in the Champions League knockout stages. Barcelona blew a 3-goal lead to Roma last year. Barcelona came back from a 4-goal deficit against PSG a few yeyears ago, and in 2003-04, Deportivo La Coruña came back from a 3-goal deficit to move on from their tie versus AC Milan. The second event came just after 11 p.m. local time, after a 98-minute lighting delay in Oakland at Rickey Henderson Field in the Oakland Coliseum. The Athletics and Reds played a wonderful baseball game. The A's won the game 2-0, and Mike Fiers becomes the 5th active pitcher to throw multiple no-hitters in his career. It is the 300th no-hitter in Major League history, the 13th in A's history, and one final stat, Mike Fiers is the 8th pitcher all-time to throw a no-hitter with more than one team. He threw one with the Astros in 2015 against the LA Dodgers. A no-hitter is not as rare as a perfect game. A no-hitter is, well, when a pitcher doesn't allow any runs to score or hits to be had. A perfect game is when no base runners reach the bases. Fiers threw 132 pitches, but he had 2 walks with 6 strikeouts. The A's also had an error, which negates a perfect game. Things that have happened since that last no-hitter a year ago today, when James Paxton threw it for the Seattle Mariners. Well, one thing that sticks out, Pablo Panda Bear Sandoval hitting a home run, stealing a base, and throwing a scoreless inning. He's the first player since 1905 to do that when Christy Mathewson did it. We forgot to mention that yesterday, so let's consider that just a correction. Now you can see why we call it the double play. From double play, let's move to the hardwood.
Burke takes the shot. It's gone! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it!
Jordan with 2 seconds to go puts it up and scores at the buzzer! Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago!
Around the NBA.
There were 2 games in the NBA last night, and both of them turned into blowouts very early. In the first game of the night, the Toronto Raptors defeated the Philadelphia 76ers in Toronto, 125-89. Kawhi Leonard had 21 points and 13 rebounds for the Raptors, while Jimmy Butler had 22 points to go along with 5 rebounds and 7 assists for the Sixers. Jimmy Butler said after the game that the Sixers, quote, laid an egg, unquote. Toronto leads the series 3-2. In the second game of the night, the Denver Nuggets jumped out to an early double-digit lead against the Portland Trail Blazers, and they never looked back. 124-98 winners at the Pepsi Center in Denver. Nikola Jokic had 25 points to go along with 19 rebounds as he led the way for the Nuggets. Paul Millsap was not himself, but in a good way. 24 points and 8 rebounds for the man who tends to be forgotten on this team, but never overlooked. On the other side of the ball, Damian Damian Lillard was the only 20-point scorer for Portland. He had 22 points for the Blazers. Denver leads the series 3-2 as well. Tonight in the NBA, there are 2 games. The Milwaukee Bucks will look to close out the series against the Boston Celtics as they lead 3-1 heading back to Milwaukee, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. The second game is at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, also on TNT, as the Houston Rockets travel back to Golden State to face off against the Warriors. That series is tied at 2. Now we head to St. Louis to see what happened between the Stars and the Blues, and this one was a thriller. Instant Game 7 classic.
Back in front door, shot, scores! Bobby O from Sanderson!
Beto! Rebound chance in front. Taking is there. Puck comes free. Score!
Score! 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Around the NHL.
There was one game in the NHL, and it was Game 7 between the Dallas Stars and the St. Louis Blues in St. Louis. Ben Bishop had stopped 48 shots in a row at one point in the game, and as the game went to double overtime, the 4th game to go to double overtime this postseason, and the 3rd Game 7 to go to overtime in general this postseason, which is the most games to ever go to overtime in a postseason. Well, Ben Bishop stopped 48 in a row, and in the end he had 52 saves, but it wasn't enough as St. Louis wins 2-1 as Pat Maroon, the hometown kid, scores the winner for St. Louis to send them to the Western Conference Finals. Tonight there is one game on the calendar, and it is the Colorado Avalanche at the San Jose Sharks, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain, NBCSN. The winner of that game will face St. Louis in the Western Conference Finals. In the Eastern Conference Finals, it's the Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins that will start tomorrow. Now moving over to Major League Baseball.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
Someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
Now from Major League Baseball.
There were 15 games on the slate, including the no-hitter by Mike Fiers. A's win 2-0 against the Reds. There were 14 other games on the slate. Minnesota Twins 3, Toronto Blue Jays 0. Chicago White Sox 2, Cleveland Indians 0. Tampa Bay Rays 6, Arizona Diamondbacks 3. New York Yankees 5, Seattle Mariners 4. Pittsburgh Pirates 5, Texas Rangers 4. LA Angels 5, Detroit Tigers 2. Milwaukee Brewers 6, Washington Nationals 0, Philadelphia Phillies 11, St. Louis Cardinals 1, Kansas City Royals 12, Houston Astros 2, LA Dodgers 9, Atlanta Braves 0, San Francisco Giants 14, Colorado Rockies 4, Chicago Cubs 5, Miami Marlins 2. Chris Bryant hit a walk-off 3-run homer for the Cubs. Boston Red Sox 8, Baltimore Orioles 5. The Red Sox have a chance later today against the Orioles to go to 500 for the first time since March ahead of an 8-game homestand at Fenway Park. Finally, New York Mets 7, San Diego Padres 6.
That's the Sport Report.
For Wednesday, May 8th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports.
Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com.
This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.